Eccoci qui. Questa sera parleremo in inglese perché Olle è di Stoccolma, è svedese e quindi scusatemi per il mio inglese, però proviamo di fare del nostro meglio. Hi Olle, how are you?
Amico, how nice to hear from you.
Thank you to be here this evening.
Well, it's a great honor for me, and as you know, all Swedes love Italy. We want to go there for vacation. We love Italian food. There are a lot of Italian places here in Stockholm, both coffee shops and restaurants, and people are very, very excited about it. And we have a special program on television that is rerunning more or less every year
Yeah.
with Swede going to Italy and discovering all kinds of nice things all over your beautiful country. So it's very, very nice to hear from you.
As you want, you can come here. And if you want to go in Sicily,
Yeah.
you tell me, and I bring you in Sicily.
Oh, that's so nice. When I visited Italy in November 2019, just before the outbreak of the corona crisis, I actually went down to Sicily and went around because people had asked me, and I'm talking about persons with electro hypersensitivity. They had asked me to travel to different smaller towns south of Rome, including Sicily, and to meet them and to talk to them. And it was a great, great honor, I would say,
And we start with a question. What day is today?
Today it's the 30th of July, and it's a beautiful day here in Stockholm. It started very gray and dark and with rain, but now the sun has set and it's warm and nice again.
Here, humidity more or less 90%.
Wow, that's a lot.
More or less 40 degrees, 36, 37 is.
Well, we have half of that, 20, 21, 22 degrees centigrade.
Wow.
So, wow, that's a lot.
And this live is the number 208 because I make one live a day from the 2nd of January.
Yeah.
Because I had a problem with the leg last year, and I started to walk better this month.
Yeah,
but, now is good.
Very nice.
You told that we meet in Rome in the 5th of November 2019.
Yes.
And I was the first photographer of the Alleanza Stop 5G in Rome.
Yes.
There was a meeting that you can explain to other people who follow us.
Yes, we had a meeting at your parliament in Rome, and where different presentations were made. And then afterwards, there was also a meeting outside, and we gathered on one of the squares and had a more public presentation. And there is a photograph actually of me holding one of your flags together with a lady. So it looks very, very nice,
And the word I like that you told was that I can come in Italy. What do you want? But if you put all the law right, I stay good also in Sweden. You told.
Yeah, of course. In Sweden, as you know, electrohypersensitivity is a fully recognized functional impairment, and previously we call it disability, and before that, handicap. And therefore, you have a number of accessibility measures. But I understood when I was in Italy in 2019 that your government, parliament, and health authorities are still debating what to do with people with electrohypersensitivity. And I remember that we talked about that if, for instance, a Swede with electrohypersensitivity would decide to go to Italy, what would you then do? Would you throw that person in jail, or would you take them to an hospital, or would you shoot them in a square? What should you do? And since Italy and Sweden both are members of the United Nations, and the United Nations are depicting all the regulations and laws regarding disabilities, you actually have to follow them as well. So you need to make Italy accessible for that particular Swede, as you would have to do for all Italians with electrohypersensitivity.
Mm.
And I'm sure your government, parliament, and authorities will do that, because after all, Italy is really in the forefront when it comes to other sectors of adverse health effects of electromagnetic fields. For instance, brain tumors, cancers of the brain, where you, I think, have had already 6 cases gone all the way up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the patients, saying that yes, the cell phone caused this brain tumor. And such a verdict cannot be overruled. And of course, these poor patients, they get some form of compensation. They would, of course, rather have been healthy, but this is the situation. So maybe soon, also electrohypersensitivity will be acknowledged the same way as in Sweden as a disability or functional impairment.
In Italy, there isn't recognized this problem. So
Well, they should.
You think that at the work, I ask one computer without Wi-Fi,
Yeah,
and this is a problem. I ask only a computer with a LAN cable,
yeah.
but the technology, the future is Wi-Fi. Why?
Well, I wouldn't say the future is wireless. In Sweden and in many other countries, I'm sure you have a similar technical discussion in Italy as well. More and more is done via shielded fiber optics, which has a much higher capacity, a much higher speed, a much higher level of security, integrity, and so on. So I think the future belongs actually to wired systems using fiber optics. And they have a lot of other advantages also. And then, of course, there could be a mixture with wireless systems, but it doesn't matter. You, being electrohypersensitive, should have the necessary accessibility measures, period. Nothing more, nothing less. And according to the United Nations, you are entitled to live an equal life in a society based on equality. And that means that you should have the wired computer you need and whatever other installations you need to have this equal life.
Yeah, I remember that in the meeting in Rome, I don't remember who, but told that half an hour of um, this this one,
Yeah.
is like use a cigarette for a day.
I cannot comment on that comparison, but I heard similar sort of statements, and one should remember that the radiation coming from a cell phone or a wireless baby alarm or a wireless smart meter is, compared to natural background, colossal. So probably if you use that for 30 minutes, I would say it's probably equals to a lifetime of smoking or something else. I mean, the risks may be very, very high. And that could also explain why all, and I repeat, all major players have left this area many, many years ago, many of them more than 20 years ago. And among them, hardly surprising, you find the manufacturers of telecom technology. They don't want to take any form of responsibility for these safe gadgets. Neither wants the operators. They say, no way, we do not take any form of responsibility. And also, of course, all the insurance and reinsurance companies say the same. And I remember, for instance, a conference, and that's nearly 20 years ago in London in 2002, where Lloyd's UK representatives, representatives from Switzerland, Swiss Re, and so on, the biggest insurance retailers and reinsurance companies all said that for them it was not the question whether it was dangerous or not when it came to exposure from wireless gadgets, because they knew it was dangerous. For them, the only question was who is going to pay for all the compensation demands in the future when people have got ill health, electrohypersensitivity, brain tumors, or whatever. And they didn't want to pay that bill. So consumers, they are left on their own on this ship that we call society, together with their health authorities, parliaments, governments. So they will have to pay in the future. The insurance companies have bailed out, the reinsurance companies the same, the manufacturers, the operators, and many others as well. So all the big players, they don't believe in themselves when they say this is safe. So
I start with the problem, I think, about 8 or 9 years ago with the air, with and here the neck, but nobody can tell what I had is a problem of the head or other less problem. I tell you less because nobody know this problem 8 or 9 years ago. So I go straight on my life, no? And I had the first document of electrolyte sensibility. I think 4 years ago, because I do many exams of the hair, of the mouth, or other exam. So when I told I can't use the computer, many people told me, so what do you want to do? Because I think the company and the society is not able to I don't know the English word, but is not able to affrontare.
Okay.
this problem.
Okay. But I mean, they have to. Italy has signed all the paperwork for being a member of the United Nations, and they have a special human rights act for people with functional impairments, and you guys have to follow that as well, you know. And you have to keep on fighting, and I know you are already, and many others with you. And it's not an easy journey, I don't say that, but the odd thing is that when you read the United Nations Special Human Rights Act, it doesn't say that you should fight for your rights. Your rights should be handed to you. And
But
I know in some countries it's very difficult, and in some it's somewhat better, and in some even more better.
what are human rights for the planet?
Well, but you know, the human rights are very simple actually, and when you read the general human rights, they will go for every person on the planet, and then there is this special human rights act for people with functional impairments, and that can be summarized into one single sentence: you are entitled to live an equal life in a society based on equality.
Become Maria from Sicily that told good evening to you.
Oh, very nice.
And I found this one. I show you a photo.
Ah, there it is. I very much like that, you know. Oh, that's very nice. Did you take that photo?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. No, it's brilliant. You know, I have it actually in my computer here as well. No, it's fantastic. I love it.
And this one inside the apartment.
Ah, yeah. Yes, I remember.
And
No, it was a very good meeting. It was
yeah,
a very good meeting.
I ask you, which are the difference from the young people to the oldest with the wireless?
How do you mean the difference?
To the problem give the wireless to little people and um, uh, adult.
Well, I would say from a usage point of view, generally speaking, young children and
Yeah.
teenagers and young men and women, they adapt very easily. They understand, they don't know how to use it. Elderly, like myself, have a harder time to understand all the details within computers and wireless internet, etc. But from a health point of view, there is no difference. You can have old people, middle-aged people, young people, teenagers, and children all becoming electro-hypersensitive. And also, you know, it doesn't matter if you are rich or poor, if you vote to the left wing or right wing, if you're a man or woman, there are no clear-cut differences. Anyone can become electro-hypersensitive. And as you know, today the most famous electro-hypersensitive person is, I would say, Gro Harlem Brundtland, who was the former head of the World Health Organization. She has been the Prime Minister of Norway, and she's a medical doctor, a fantastic woman, you know, with an enormous capacity, and she is electro-hypersensitive. So you see, anyone can be hit, and unfortunately also children.
In this moment, I can't put the phone near my leg into into I don't know the word. I'm sorry, Ole, but the dress So I can't touch. I can't stay in this.
Okay. So you cannot be close to the cell phone.
No, this is, look, with normal vision, with the eye, this light, there isn't. But
Okay.
with the computer, there is.
Okay.
So I come back. I can't touch the phone, or I can't leave the phone near the leg because I have problems.
Yeah.
I'm
And you,
in this situation with electro height sensibility.
and you also said that you had bought a very modern camera, and it contained wireless antennas, and when it was on, you felt it immediately, but when you turned the Wi-Fi off, it was good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, this is so interesting
And
because
the not good, but the other, the contrary of good is
bad.
bad.
Yeah.
The bad thing is the hotspot.
Okay.
The hotspot is a problem that I take my leg and I do this.
And do you feel it also in the rest of the body, or is it
No,
only your leg?
all only on the leg when I live near my leg,
Okay.
because in other side I live at 1 meter or more the phone,
Yeah.
because I can't use near the air,
Okay.
because I must switch every, I think, 5 seconds or 10
Oh,
seconds.
wow. Wow. You know, I have to ask you, since the corona crisis
Mhm.
seems to kind of level out and society is going back more and more to normal, um, are you planning some activities, I mean, public activities in Italy in the near future, including conferences with speakers?
I go normally.
But are you planning such?
In this moment, no.
No, okay. Because I think it's very important to quickly get up on the feet and start informing people again. And if there is a possibility, you can also invite lecturers like myself and others to come to Italy and give public presentations.
Yeah.
So I think that's very important. And of course, I mean, during the corona crisis, I have been in an endless number of Skype calls, Skype presentations, Zoom, and all these other platforms. And that has worked very well, I would say. So I have appeared in all corners of the world. People see me everywhere. And that's very good. But still, I would say the real physical contact with the audience, that's very valuable if you can have that. And to have just a computer screen, it's not really the same, I wouldn't say, you know.
And also with the photography, there is a problem of electrolyte. Also, I think is for every people, like you told before, because the new technology of photographic machine have wireless inside to transfer to the phone or to the computer the image, and the wireless is switch on all the day.
Yeah.
I had the problem at the head and to the here stomach ache.
Yeah.
Heads, and I must read the little book of instruction, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I told me why. It was the Wi-Fi, the wireless, and I switch off the I
The
don't know the
transition. Yeah. Yeah.
point of menu,
Yeah.
and I stop my problem.
Oh, yeah. And you know, I was told some weeks ago that, for instance, in Japan, when people go and buy a new car, many Japanese people, they are demanding that there should be a switch inside of the car so
Mm,
they could switch off all the
mm.
wireless, all the Wi-Fi. And you know, Japanese people are very health concerned. And I heard from Japan that many consumers, they don't want to be exposed, and they don't want to expose their children and their cats and dogs and so on, and therefore they crave to have this switch so they could turn off everything. And
Also,
yeah,
also the
yeah,
Bluetooth of
yeah,
the car.
yeah. So and I think car manufacturers are picking up on this, but also other manufacturers realize that, well, there are people for different reasons
Yeah.
that don't want to have all this exposure, and they don't have to be electro hypersensitive. There could be other reasons. They just say, no, I don't want to have my children, for instance, exposed, and therefore I want to take it away. I want to switch it off. And so, and that's the power of the consumers. And never forget, you know, that consumers, if they in solidarity go together and start demanding things and craving for change, then the change will arrive.
At the moment, come Benaz is a Persian girl from near Milano,
Yeah,
and Maurizio, my friend from Rome.
yeah, very nice. You should greet them as well. I'm not so good at computers, so I don't know how to sort of write anything, but I say hello to them as well.
Okay. And we go to the end near to the conversation. So I ask you the other three questions, but you can take your time without problem.
Yeah.
I give you uh, 2 minutes to tell you to tell us what do you want.
Well, I want tomorrow morning to wake up as an Italian, of course, in Italy. And if that's not possible, then I would like to see a much broader investigation regarding the adverse health and also, very importantly, the adverse biological effects of artificial electromagnetic fields, like from cell phones, tablets, laptops, power lines, other forms of installations, wireless indoor telephones, so-called DECT phones, wireless internet, of course, and smart meters, baby alarms, and so on. There are so many gadgets. And I want the insurance companies and all the other major players to come back and take responsibility for their own gadgets. Now they don't. They just refuse to do it. And I want to see a solidarity between different companies, different levels of society, and the citizens. Now the citizens are very much left alone, you know. They have no possibility to protect themselves, and people just keep on telling them, oh, it's safe, it's safe. But the same people say, no, we cannot take any responsibility for this. So that's very odd. I would like to change that.
You can change it.
I hope so.
Project from tomorrow until the last day of the year.
Wow, that's a very good question. What we are very interested in right now are a number of different sectors. And I would tell you immediately, so you don't misunderstand me, practically we have no money really. There is not very much funding available for us, but we would love to investigate pollinators, especially honeybees, and their sensitivity to cell phone and Wi-Fi router radiation. We would also like to investigate fertility issues in humans, especially male sperm cells and their sensitivity, particularly to cell phone radiation. And then finally, of course, very importantly, the effect of wireless radiation from Wi-Fi routers, from cell phone base stations, and from cell phones on bacteria. And few people understand that if we would count all the cells in my body, all the muscle cells, all the nerve cells, all the skin cells, and so on, when we have counted all cells in my body, more than 90% are bacteria. So they are a huge, huge, huge part of every human and animal body, and they do react. And therefore, we would love to investigate this, but we have a very, very difficult time to find the necessary funding, but we are doing our best and hardest. We are trying every day.
And the last question is, tomorrow morning I wake up and you wake up and
well, I would say, you know, I would like very much to wake up into a new world where people dare to use common sense. And as you may know, I have inaugurated actually an institute of common sense for common sense. And also in this common sense, I would like to see more people just saying, no, I don't want this, enough is enough, and just be very clear on that point. As you did in Rome, for instance, stop 5G. No, thank you. I don't want to have this. And be very, very sort of clear and concentrated on the message. You are very good at that in Italy, I would say, but in many other countries, people are vague. They don't know really how to express their innermost thoughts and ideas and cravings, and they need to be more accurate, actually. So that would be nice. And I say again, if I wake up tomorrow, looking out over Piazza Barberini in Rome, for instance, I wouldn't cry.
I wait you here in
Oh, thank you so much.
I thank you, Olle, for your time you give me.
Well, the same to you. It's such an honor to be on your program here, and I'm very impressed that you have made so many of these programs, and keep on. That's the only way we can do. And I always tell people, if you cannot do anything, you can still inform and educate your fellow beings.
Yeah.
Tell them what you know, ask them to read for themselves, ask them to contemplate, do I want this for me and my family, my children, and so on, or not?
I ask to all people why you can't talk with me. All people can talk with me about what do you want? Is 35 minutes we can stay in a chair and without pressure of outside. I like this.
I like it very much too, and I would like to see much more in every country all over the world, and that people kind of stops and start thinking and contemplating much more. And people are just running around, like crazy rats, and they are updating their Facebook profile, and they are photographing their breakfast, and they're taking selfies, but they are not really in reality. So I think it's time for people to come back to reality.
And I told to everybody, I make this like program to stop the people, and because for me the future is stop.
Yeah,
You must stop, because we arrive to a point of the life you think, and you told to you what I do until today.
yeah. And also, I wouldn't only stop, I would also tell people that sometimes, as a species, we need to stop, I agree, but also take steps backwards. We have done things that looked so good from the beginning, but turning out to be a disaster, like DDT, smoking, and so on, including artificial electromagnetic fields. We need to be able to say, well, good idea from the beginning, but it has a dark backside. We need to clean up this now and step backwards.
Yeah. Thank you again, Olle. I thank to Maurizio, Benas, Maria who write us, and I thank to Silvana and Valeria who give they like into the format in Facebook.
Well, I
And
do the same to them,
and also to all the people who follow us from tomorrow to the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And tomorrow I will send you a mail with the link, and you can give to all people what do you want.
Oh, thank you so much. Very, very good. Thank you.
Have a good evening, Olle.
The same to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. Ciao a
Bye.
tutti.